couldn't get there. This will be one of the more exciting games. You will see high-powered offenses. Georgia not to be overlooked at all, coming in with 0 losses before last night, taking the first loss to Mohawk with a lot of fan support from them last night. So this one should be a treat for us as we are being treated to the bronze medal game here at the OCAA Championships presented by Bel Air Direct here at the David Braley Athletic Center. Referee is asking the players if they're about ready to go. This should be a real good one. We are definitely in for a treat here tonight. Andre Foreman will be leading off the serving for Fanshawe, the second-year man, 5'11", out of London, Ontario. Had a great game yesterday against Durham, one of the standout players. Look for him to have another amazing game here today, and we are underway. Georgian looking, there's Liam Gray, one of the better players in this country, and Fanshawe gets out to the early lead as the spike from number 11 on Georgian doesn't go through, that being Adam Bibley. 6'5" out of Barrie, Ontario, 5th year, one of the veterans of this team. And we got Foreman going out again for another serve. Fanshawe jumps out to the early 1-0 lead. Here goes Gray setting up again. Great defense there from Fanshawe there. 2-0. They got some big men up front. One of the taller teams in this league, which comes to their advantage, of course, being led on the way from Adam McCoy. 6'4" from Petawawa, Ontario. He's a 5th-year veteran for this Fanshawe team. You know, this tournament means a lot to him, and unfortunately for Foreman, his serve cannot find its way over the net. Maybe a little bit of pre-game jitters. Still coming in there. And now one of the best players of all-Canadian OCAA, Liam Gray from Barrie, Ontario, a 2nd-year man. And an amazing serve there. That's what he's so good at doing. He's so consistent with those. He just paints the line and fools the Fanshawe defense. He's going to have to lead the way tonight for these Grizzlies if they hope to somehow beat these high-powered Fanshawe Falcons. It's a good East versus West matchup here tonight. And unfortunately for Gray, I hope I didn't jinx him there, but he puts that one into the net. Just a little bit of pre-game jitters maybe coming through there. Number 12 for Fanshawe, who will be serving for us here, as mentioned, David Acoyne. Plays with a lot of passion, a very, very good volleyball player. Beautiful hard serve there. Made it hard for Georgian to come back on. More defense there from Fanshawe. A nice strike attempt there from Adam Bibley, but Fanshawe's defense led the way by number 14 for the Fanshawe Falcons, Evan Ram, one of the better defenders in the league. Fortunately, tried jumping over his bench to get in there. That was number 8 for Fanshawe. We're trying to get all the shutouts in. Nate Van Camp, 6'4" from Port Perry, Ontario, 4th-year player. Another veteran for this Fanshawe team. They're lucky enough to have a lot of vets on this squad. That definitely helps for big-time games such as this. A nice little deceptive play. What a play there from Gray. An absolutely outstanding effort, just getting his hand on there to keep it from hitting the ground. Gray upset with himself there as it hit his hand. An absolutely great strike there from number 11 on Fanshawe, Matt Sears. Look for him to continue to do a lot of that. I'm sure Gray will pick it back up there. Georgian suffered a tough 3 sets. Set loss to Mohawk last night in a toughly contested game. They just didn't seem to have their game. They're hopefully going to be able to grab it here against Fanshawe. 4-4 game so far. The points go to Georgian as they are up 5-4. Fanshawe obviously upset yesterday by Durham in 3 straight sets, something we all didn't see coming here. Number 18 for Georgian will serve for us, that being Matt Kerr. Great play for Liam there, but unfortunately a foul called, and look for him on Fanshawe tonight, that being James Jackson, one of the better players the OCA has to offer. Very consistent and a very strong hitter, and he gets up there with his jumps. Look for him to continue a lot of offense here tonight for the Fanshawe Falcons. And there's a serve even with a lot of velocity on that. Gray sets it up, a nice little play to his teammate there. Fanshawe looking to get it back over, putting it right at number 5 on Georgian. He was unable to come up with that. An absolutely great spike there from number 8, Nate Van Camp, for the Fanshawe Falcons. And we're going to have James leading off again with the serve. 6-5, Fanshawe takes over the lead once again. He puts a lot of velocity on these serves, making it hard to get some defense from.
I mean, I always talk about the power, Lucas, and James Jackson is one of those people that has so much power behind everything. He's standing at 6'8", so I mean, He's great right up close to the net. He's great with his serves. He's 198 kills, 63 digs. This guy is all over the board and just an all-around all-star at this point.
And you like to see a guy with a lot of kills and also a lot of digs, not afraid to get on the floor and get dirty.
Oh, I might have just jinxed him.
Unfortunately, we may have just done that. Sure, he'll come back from that. James Jackson putting that one into the net, unfortunately. Serving for Georgian here, number 8, Trevor Ricala. Oh, and an absolutely hard spike from number 1 for Fanshawe. Andre Foreman showed some success early on in his serve game, and he smashes that one to the floor. Absolutely beautiful start for him, number 14 for Fanshawe. Serving now, Evan Rav. Taking his time a little bit, definitely thinking about it early on here in the first set of this bronze medal game. Liam's gonna set it up for his teammate there. Fanshawe looking to get some offense going. And number 8 for Fanshawe right there again. It's Nate Van Camp all over the ball.
He's another one of those big players, Nate Van Camp and James Jackson, that we're working alongside for a couple of years now. And they're absolutely fantastic
Absolutely.
together.
They got a lot of big guys up front. We haven't mentioned him yet. Number 7, Sebastian Lethbridge, had a great game against the Durham Lords yesterday. Was all over the floor on the defensive side of the ball. Fanshawe jumping out to a little bit of a lead here. Some mental toughness there to not want to touch that ball. Number 8 will be serving here, Nate Van Camp. 6'4", Port Perry, Ontario, 4th year as mentioned. Gets a high serve. Right up there. Let's see what Georgian does with this. They just toss it over. Fanshawe is able to figure out what they want to do on defense there. Van Camp gets it up again. Georgian going way back in the gym to grab that, looking to set up something. Gray just puts it over for Georgian. Here goes. Oh, nice defensive play there. Lots of rallying going on here. Early on in this one, everyone's getting a feel for the game. Foreman just puts a nice little touch on it there. Oh, and a great block there. Lethbridge, great job. Awesome play there from Sebastian Lethbridge. Thought we were going to get some points off that. Here goes Foreman with the hard hit. He puts it down, and the intensity is showing from this Fanshawe team. He's fired up with that. Let's take a look at that one once again. What a spike that was. A great setup there from his teammates. As we're taking another look for it, just puts it right in the pocket and is able to smash it home and find the hole beyond the Georgian D. Unfortunately for him. Here we go, Van Camp. Once again, number 8 for Fanshawe. A nice serve. Comes right back to make the defensive effort. A little bit of misconfusion here on the Fanshawe side. Great defensive play by Georgian. Their defense is going to have to step up heavy today, led by big boy number 12, Darian Haynes. Let's see if Haynes can get up there for a big spike. It's going to be number 11 for Georgian, pardon me, Adam Bealey. Once again, 6'5", Barrie, Ontario, one of the leaders on this team.
Yeah, 180 kills, 78 digs. He is on fire.
Also with his wingman, Matt Kerr, 4th year guy for Georgian. Lots of vets on this team. You know this bronze medal game means a lot to them. Liam's gonna set that right back up. A great defensive play for Fanshawe. And unfortunately, Foreman tried going into the crowd to make that one, and he's unable to. A fortunate bounce there for Georgian as they finally snapped that little Fanshawe streak we had going on.
We see Fanshawe, I mean, we saw earlier him jump, behind the seats into his own team, and now into, them into the crowd there, just all over the map to try and get the ball.
So what you got to do, you got to put it all on the line in these big games. And Foreman's looking like he's going to get the points back. Number 8 for Georgian, unfortunately, wasn't able to make the play, that being Trevor Ricala. Normally he is a very reliable man on defense, but there's not too many players that could have done anything with that. So good effort there by Ricala. Foreman the serve once again, successfully does so. Liam Gray setting back up, and a beautiful little touch there from number 18, Matty Kerr, out of Wingham, Ontario. Just touched it in over there and found the empty spot on the Fanshawe D.
One thing I'd like to point out about Liam Gray, who's up for his serve right now, is that he has 552 assists.
Definitely one of the better assist men, if not the best, and a nice little serve. Takes a fortunable roll there. Fanshawe doesn't know what they want to do. The referee's going to get the net infraction. Matt Kerr cannot agree with it any less. Number 8 for Georgian going up there. Trevor Ricala trying to argue the calls, trying to see where the referee, where her thinking was with that. Pretty 50-50 call there, but we got to respect what the referee says ultimately. Number 12 for Fanshawe will take the lead off here. David Acoin, the big 6'4" man. Really good on the defensive and offensive side of the ball, and all-around well player. One of the reasons why Fanshawe is ranked number 1 in all of the country. But there's Georgian showing why they had that undefeated season, playing all-around good ball there. Look for David Gundrum on the Georgian defensive side of the ball as he wears the opposite color jersey to switch in and out when he needs to. But he's one of the better defensive players this team has to offer. Hasn't made too many offensive plays yet, but he's all over that D. And unfortunately, there's not too many players in the OCAA that'll be able to stop one like that. That being from James Jackson with that hard hit. Such a big man he is, coming in at 6'8". He'd probably play on the Fanshawe basketball team if he needed to as well. Wouldn't be surprised if they called him up. And we got Sebastian Lethbridge, one of my favorite players to watch so far in this tournament. He's had an awesome one. Got some good rallying going on. Let's see what Fanshawe can come up with. They're going to get it right. Oh, and the nice little touch play unfortunately doesn't work out the way Fanshawe wanted it to. Georgian's going to grab some points off of that. Fanshawe really trying to redeem that loss that they had last night to Durham. They were in pretty much every single set. They just couldn't seem to get going.
I know for myself last night, I was kind of shocked by the fact that Durham picked up that win from Fanshawe, because Fanshawe has been so good this season.
Yeah, ranked number 1 in all of Canada, so it's pretty hard to imagine that they would be eliminated, especially in 3 straight sets. Very uncharacteristic for them, so you know they're going to come up with an extra little bit of passion, and unfortunately too much passion on that from James as he smacks that one out of play. See if they can get it back going. He's going to come right back with it, and he's all smiles after that.
He's so happy.
James Jackson, he knows he's expected of that. We got to take a replay look at that. That was an absolute smash towards the ground. Taking another look at it here. A great setup from his teammates, and just finds that empty spot on the Georgian defense. Even if a man was there, as good as Liam Gray is at getting those assists and getting the ball off the ground to Diggs, I don't even know if he would have been able to make a play on that. A great play by James. And a great play there by Lethbridge. Unfortunately not going to be able to do it. Georgian coming with those hard spikes, led by number 11 right there, Adam Bibley. Number 8 for Georgian will serve for us, Trevor Ricella. Fanshawe smart enough to see that he maybe put a little bit too much on that, and it gets out of play. Fanshawe regrabs the lead, 15-14. Here in the first set, the ever so important first set. You always want to find the way to start fast. Fanshawe here with the serve. Let's see. Georgian can get some offense going. It's going to take some good D by Fanshawe and they get it done. Let's see what their offense has to offer. And that's the first time we've seen James put that one into net. James Jackson. Normally we see that hit the ground as we have so far in this one. Just couldn't find it there. Very good back and forth game so far, Ryla. Yep,
15-15 right now. I mean, this is what I was saying before the game started. I'm not expecting to see anybody take a strong lead from this at all.
Jake Edwards with the serve on that, and unfortunately another Fanshawe strike right into there. Nate Van Camp, an uncharacteristic play from him. He knows it. His coach is letting him know it's okay. Just get back with it. No, we haven't introduced the head coach yet, Patrick Johnson for the Fanshawe Falcons, a 4th-year coach.
Yeah, I've had the chance to talk to Patrick a couple times now while I was doing sideline, and he's a great guy, super nice, and he knows what he's talking about, and he knows what his team needs to do to execute a win.
Absolutely. Just like a good coach should. And there's Van Camp making up for his unfortunate error in the last play, finding the hole. It seems like Fanshawe is kind of going more towards the middle of the court there. A lot of their points are coming from hard spikes right in the center of the court. Van Camp's going to serve for us, but if Jordan continues to leave that middle open there, that could spell some great trouble for them later on in this one, as Fanshawe's just finding quick points. Although tied 16-16, way too much on that for Van Camp. Unfortunately for him, another uncharacteristic error for him. You know, he'll pick it right back up, though.
These are the kind of games, though, that I think we'll be seeing a lot more errors and misplays from these players that it's so uncommon, just because what's at stake here is so high to them.
Absolutely. They've got to this point in a medal game here for the bronze in the OCAA. Ball way out of play. Number 11 on Georgian there. Almost came into my lab, Adam Beebley.
Almost took out our cameras up behind us, too.
Referee asking if we were scared. The answer was a firm yes.
Yeah, I mean, if one of these guys fell on me, I'd probably be squished.
Here we go. Foreman with the serve. Liam with a great little play. And a nice defensive effort there for Georgian by number 10. Here we go. James Jackson finding it once again. He doesn't celebrate all too much. He's so used to doing that. The leader in kills for his team. Fanshawe bench coming alive. Lots of fan support here. Thank you for tuning in on M-Link, watching our stream. We appreciate it very much. We enjoy putting these broadcasts on for you, doing these OCAA championships presented by Bel Air Direct.
We also appreciate the fact that you guys waited. We had a little bit of a late start just because the last game ran a little bit longer than expected. So thank you so much for your patience.
Our previous game went into the 5 sets between the Redeemer Royals and the Humber Hawks. Redeemer came back to win that one and win the consolation game. Good for them. Humber also played an amazing game. Liam Gray, the highly touted All-Canadian, coming here with a serve. He puts it so high.
He does, and I mean, he is only standing at 5'10", but he has the power of these guys like James Jackson, who's like 6'8". So I mean, the size might be different, but the power is so equal.
Yeah, he is one of the better players the OCAA has to offer. That is for sure. And now we got serving. We got a coin for Fanshawe. He's also got a pretty high attempt serve. When you give him the ball right there and the defense kind of standing around waiting for it to come over, they're going to be standing around waiting for it to hit the ground. Unfortunately, a coin will serve again. Fanshawe hits the ever so important first 20 points. 5 away from wrapping up this first set in a very fast-paced game played by 2 amazing teams. You got to appreciate the effort these kids put in. And right there again, James is all over. He's celebrating a little bit on that one, as that's got to be 5 or 6 now just in this set. He's jumping around, all excited. A little timeout happening. Some excitement from this Fanshawe team. Georgian reeling a little bit here. They were playing really good up until this point. They are still playing a good game. They just let the lead slip away a little bit as we had a lot of back and forth scoring. And now Fanshawe has found a way to pull out 21-18. So let's turn this over to you, Riley, a little bit. So far in this one, we've seen a lot of fast-paced action and the hard hits like we talked about in our previous game. So for Georgian to win now that we've seen a couple of minutes in this one, just because they do have to be considered the underdogs, as Fanshawe is ranked #1 in all of the country, what do you think Georgian really has to do to continue to keep pace and maybe even win this game?
Well, Georgia was actually sitting first in the East Division, but there's been a lot of controversy between that, and by saying that the West Division is, out of the 2 halves, that's the better team, that they have the stronger players and the more athletic players. But I mean, Georgian, they have so much to offer, and they have a lot still that they can prove to us. So I mean, for them, I've mentioned before, it's all about the mindset. You have to keep in the right mindset. You have to be in the mind, the mood, everything to pick up a win. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing from one of these teams tonight. But Georgian just needs to stay calm and collected because they're not far off behind Fanshawe.
A coin with another high serve. Once again, James Jackson pushing his lead to 22 now, 22-18 for Fanshawe. He's being an offensive powerhouse in this one. Georgian's going to have to adapt a little bit defensively. Such a great team Georgian is. It goes to show just how dominant James can really be. A coin, second time he's put that one, and then he laughs it off. He knows he made the mistake. Great Fanshawe group. They're a very, very close-knit group. Lots of hugs and all that, great chatter, and I'm sure they've loved getting to spend this weekend together. A little bit. See, there you go. There's some support. Let's see what they can do with this. James is going to take that, but takes a little bit of it off, and he continues to just be the story of this game so far, that being Mr. James Jackson, 6'8", an absolute powerhouse overall in the OCAA. One of the better players for sure. Lethbridge is going to look to serve this once we get a ball up to his standards. Clean it off, I should say. Up to game standards. I'm sure Lethbridge would play with the deflated ball if he had to. It's a guy who plays with a lot of passion and loves the game.
Absolutely.
It's not hard to see from sitting this close to him. And if you're watching on television or on the M-Link here, take a peek at him. He's one of the best players on Fanshawe. And a great defensive play, that being by number 8 and 14, Nate Van Camp and Evan Rav. Pardon me, I apologize. Any names that get mispronounced, I do apologize for that. Such a fast-paced game in these. It's hard to keep up sometimes. So many games to do. We do our best here, just as these players do, and we got a good rally going on here. Beauty setup. Liam saw that. He's looking at his teammate, kind of like, boys, we're going right in the middle. We got to take another look at that. As now Fanshaw's 1 point off from taking that. Fanshaw's getting set up quick. Take another look. Just banging it through, finding that same open middle spot. Fanshawe now 1 point away from taking set number 1. The ever so important first set. Here we go. See the pace slowing down. Here goes Foreman. Nice play to set himself up. There's Van Camp. Lethbridge to Van Camp. Paints the line. Set number 1 will go 25-20 for those Fanshawe Falcons. Unfortunately for those Georgian Grizzlies, they played a great set. Were able to find 20 points and keep it close, but they just weren't able to finish it off there.
I mean, as I mentioned before, as we just saw in that last point, like Nathan Van Camp, James Jackson, they have been so like a well-oiled team. The two of them, they've been the lead point scorers for their team. As I mentioned, James Jack, 198 kills. Nathan Van Camp, 109 kills. But we have a little bit of a highlight package on Fanshawe, so let's take a look at that.
So as you can see, they've had really good sets throughout this one, and you can see right there, they just paint the line. A little bit of an error there from Georgian, a coin all over the floor. There's our boy James making all those plays so far today. Fanshaw's just putting their teammates in positions to execute perfectly. You saw Foreman. Let's see a great defensive effort there, big time by Lethbridge. As I talked about earlier, great defensive mind he is. And there's James. I don't know what more we need to show. We could have showed that same highlight 6 times. You would have thought it was the same one. He's done that same play at least 5 or 6 times throughout this one. He continues to be a monster in this one. If he continues his way, the Fanshawe Falcons might be looking at a bronze medal.
One thing we see from Fanshawe, as you mentioned, you can watch that thing so many times because they continue to do the same plays, is that these boys are into a routine. You know, you have your strong setters, your strong servers, you have the people that will always go for those digs, and they continue to do those roles. So now that they know what the roles are, they work better as a team because they expect, you have that expected level of expertise, I guess you would say, from one of your teammates.
Yeah, well, and especially in these medal games, you need your leaders to step up and be the leaders that they are. So when Fanshaw's got that going, but you saw Liam Gray for Georgian, the highly touted man from Barrie, Ontario, the All-Canadian. We can't say enough good things about him, but Georgian's got a lot of other studs on this team. They're one of the few teams, well, I wouldn't say few teams, but they're one of the teams that is lucky enough to have depth all over, have a lot of guys to step in. A lot of the guys, unfortunately, that don't play as much maybe on the bench could definitely step in and compete to a level which they would need to, hence why they went undefeated in their East Division. And although talked about that the West may be a little bit more superior and there may be an imbalance in that sense, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Every team comes out ready to play, and if Georgian went through an undefeated season, those kind of things don't just happen by mistake.
Absolutely
it's all the
not.
hard work and those types of things that need to come together, and it all starts with the great coaching, who we have yet to introduce. We got Reed Saxby, the second-year guy. We all got second and first-year guys. The assistant and head coach for Georgian are the 2-year guys, and our assistant coach for these Georgian Grizzlies is Stephen Hawk. And if we're going to talk about him on the assistant side of the spectrum, let's get over to the Fanshawe. Matthew Poulin, a first-year guy. I have the opportunity to sit beside him as their bench is right beside our commentator's desk. He's a very involved coach. Players really listen to him, and he looks like he's a treat to have as a coach. These Fanshawe players are lucky to have the staff that they do and the program that they do, as goes for Georgian.
I think that's, you know, for every team. If the coaching has any kind of weak links to it, the team isn't going to be as well run as it should be. And for all these teams to be making it here to the OCAA championship games, I mean, it's the bronze game. There's a reasoning behind that they're here, and coaching is one of the biggest aspects to it.
Absolutely. Big bronze medal up for grabs here. Liam gets over after his serve. A nice little set play. We're coming with the smash from Kerr. Pardon me, number 11. That was not Kerr. That was Adam with a nice little play there.
Adam Beatley is another one of those players who's also from Barrie, so it makes me wonder if Liam Gray and Adam Beatley have played together before because they work extremely well.
Absolutely.
And they're from the same
we have many
hometown.
Barrie players on this Georgian squad. playing a close-knit second set here with Fanshawe. A nice defensive effort there by Foreman. Sprawling out on the ground. There's James putting it on over. Liam's going to be setting up for the big smash from number 8, Trevor Riccola. Oh, and some great defense. Some great defense there from Adam Bealey. He really was there for the deflection to get James's ball back on their side and fall onto their side. And Georgian finally gets on the board here. Oh, pardon me. No, Fanshawe's getting the points on that one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a deflection off of Bealey that bounced out of bounds onto Fanshawe's side, which is why Fanshawe picked up the point there.
The referee walked over, clarified that for our scorers beside us. And then, as you saw right there, an unfortunate serve into the net. And a 2-1 to score now for Fanshawe. Here in the bronze medal game OCAA Championship. Setting up here. Oh, a nice little deceptive play from Van Camp. A nice play for him there. Absolutely perfect. A lot of times people think you're going to come through with that hard smash, and then when you give it that nice little how you doing touch, it turns in the points for you. Here we go again, Lethbridge. Very automatic server. As he shows right there. We got Georgian with some deceptive players. That ball, oh, a great diving effort there. Fanshawe puts it back over, and we got a good little rally going on. We got some guys jumping up for some fake spikes. Foreman puts it right back over with a great defensive effort. Got some good ball going on here. And a big smash there from number 8. Riccola puts it through. Working hard. Riccola is a 4th-year man. One of the vets on this team. Georgian's got a lot of 3rd and 4th-year guys. But you know that means you got a tight-knit group on this Georgian squad, which always makes for a better team and a better team effort for most games. It's always fun to play on those close-knit teams, pardon me. And there is our first set hero, Mr. James Jackson, coming through with the smash there.
I don't know how many times I have to say it, James Jackson. He's just all over the board, but he's always in the right spot. He's always doing the right thing, and his team definitely looks up towards him to be bringing in some of those points. Your
number 2 man. And with all the power that he possesses, he puts a little bit too much on that one as it sails out of play, and a point for Georgian. And now Riccola will serve for Georgian. Fanshawe going to grab some easy points there. 5-3. Big second set. Georgian definitely does not want to see themselves go down 2-0, as I know that could very well spell the end, as they were swept last night by Mohawk. So Georgian's going to want to break this streak here. Easier said than done against such a good team in Fanshawe. Coming up, Riccola again. They're going to say he hit the net. A call not agreed upon by most players on this Georgian squad. They know that just keep it cool, not say anything to the referees. You don't want to get on their bad side, as that could go very wrongly for you. But we've had such great officiating in this tournament, and we thank our officials for being so sturdy throughout this. This is high-pressured volleyball with a lot on the line, and this is definitely not the job for everybody. And what an amazing play. We show why he's the all-Canadian Liam Gray. Just finding that open little spot, a good heads-up play. Riley talked about how he lacks a little bit in height as compared to a lot of his teammates, but he makes up for it in his great athletic ability and able to get up there on the jump.
Absolutely.
Got a little basketball in him there. Van Camp just tried to put her over. Here goes Foreman. He's going to try and smash her through. A great effort there. Liam's going to set it up for his teammate. Here goes Riccola. Riccola hits it on over. Fanshawe setting up here. Foreman's going to be the smasher, and a better defensive effort. I would not have been able to get a hand on that ball. Not too many players were. Number 10, Jake Edwards, tried to make a play on a great hit ball. Unfortunately, he couldn't. But those are the types of defensive efforts you can't be too upset with. That's just not too much more he could have done, as Fanshawe is up here 7-4 now.
Jake Edwards has 68 digs, so I mean, he is definitely one of those players that are able to get right underneath the ball every single time again.
Not scared to jump all over that floor. Foreman took that pretty hard, and he's hurting a little bit. Ball's back up. Let's see what they got here. It's going to be Riccola trying to smash it through. A great defensive play by Fanshawe. Puts it down. Another amazing dig by Riccola. Great, just got to hit it over as they're at too many hits now. Let's see what Fanshawe's got. Oh, and they just set it over, trying to throw him off a little bit. Liam sets it over to his teammate. Here goes the big smash, and they're going to get it there.
Adam Bealey, that was a great play by him, and he's the fifth-year veteran for the Georgian team. So, I mean, I'm assuming that a lot of the guys look up to him as a role model and a leader.
Absolutely. When you have those guys that have so much experience on a team, you definitely look to them in high-pressure situations, and it's nice to have a calming force like him. One of the better players the OCAA has offered. Unfortunately there for Georgian, they spiked that into the net. An unfortunate error for Jake Edwards, who's such a consistent player, such a good defensive player. He's real athletic. He's got good size, greatly in shape. One of the standouts here for Georgian. But as talked about, Georgian's such a complete team that it's really hard to kind of signal out one player. We got Van Camp going here. Let's see what we go. Let's see what Georgian's got. And they smack it out of bounds. It looked like it was going to be a good play, unfortunately. Number 12, Darian Haynes could not put that through. And Fanshawe takes the timeout and celebrating. They are all fired up. Georgian looking a little bit frustrated. Fanshawe, one of those teams that really likes to celebrate their victories and their successes. And you heard that on the start of their timeout. So, Ryla, if you're the Georgian coach here, what are you saying to your team?
If I was on the Georgian coach, I mean, I would kind of remind them that, as I said before, in the East Division, they were the leading undefeated. I mean, there's a reason why, and I think for them is they need to just get in the right headspace and think, you know what, we've done this time and time again. We've come back from less and more, and they're able to pick up a lead if they really put themselves to it.
Absolutely. One of the better teams in this overall tournament as they're playing for the bronze medal here in the OCAA Championships, and one undefeated as mentioned. You're a very, very good team when you can pull off such a feat like that. The players don't look dejected at all. They really look like they're just ready to get back out there, especially Liam Gray as he storms onto the court. A very close-knit group here in Georgian. You'll never see someone walk away without a high five and or a hug, and possibly you always love little butt slaps.
I mean, as we mentioned in the last game, their families, their teammates, their best friends, their brothers, or everything of that sort.
Absolutely.
You'll always see a positive attitude towards each other, even when it's a misplay like that.
Absolutely. And as Riley's going on about the family atmosphere we got going on here, Fanshawe paints the line. Van Camp right there. Nate Van Camp toeing the line with his ball, getting some points there. Georgian thought it was going to go out, and I don't blame him. It was just on the line. It was a perfect hit. They don't let this one go for nothing. Liam puts it on over. Foreman puts it up. A great defensive effort there for Georgian. Liam puts it back on over. Great diving play there for Fanshawe. Fanshawe sent back up. It's going to be Foreman who gets unfortunately blocked for him. Lethbridge sets it back up. In comes Van Camp. Oh, and a nice, here we go, Liam. What do they got? What do they got? Oh, it's going to be a big hit by Ricola. Lethbridge with it now. We got some good back and forth rallying here. Another smash, unfortunately, into the net. Bealey could not get that through. We're so accustomed to seeing him just smash that down on the court, showing a little bit of frustration. Such a passionate player, wears his heart on his sleeve. Really wants this win.
I think Georgian just needs to get into a little bit of a point streak, and then I think things will be a little bit better for them into a more positive attitude.
Absolutely. A great play by Foreman. The ball just staying on the net. We haven't seen too much of that. A nice little roll. Let's see what Georgian can do on the defensive side of the ball. This is going to be a big hit. Here goes Bealey. Unfortunately, can't get it. His struggles continue. Not too happy about that. A coin was all over that. The big body up front, playing that great defense that we're so accustomed to seeing from him. He's such a fun player to watch with a smile on his face at all times. You always love to see that. We've talked continuously about how amazing this tournament is. These players love to play in it. Such an opportunity, especially in this game, to play for a medal. Fanshawe jumping out to a commanding lead, unfortunately, though, 13-4. And that one gets hit out. The struggles continue for Bealey. He's getting some love from his squad, though. He'll be okay. We know he's the grizzled vet.
There could be a couple aspects going into play right now as to why Georgian isn't doing as well as they normally do, and it could honestly just all boil down to being having some nerves and having some frustration. I mean, Fanshawe picked up the first set, and
Absolutely.
so Georgian might be looking at that, thinking, feeling a little
just struggling to get their game exactly right, Ryla. And they've been struggling to try and find their Georgian Grizzlies way since that last game against Mohawk, where they struggled deeply in a hostile environment. But now down 15-4, not a number that any fan wants to see of these games. we've been treated to such close games that we're pretty unaccustomed to seeing a score like this. But you know that Georgian in their huddle will try and figure out and draw up a way to get this. But we talked greatly about how Fanshawe is the #1 ranked team in all of the country. They have arguably the best volleyball program led by Coach Patrick Johnson. Just a very, very committed team. You see them celebrating over and over after all their great plays. It's fun to be a Fanshawe Falcon. They will be one of the toughest teams to beat at the Nationals. As for Georgian, they'll also be there, so don't count them out for a second. We're just seeing some uncharacteristic Georgian Grizzlies volleyball as we've seen them go undefeated this year. So in the huddle, probably just trying to get their game back and figure it on out.
Yeah, I think the best thing for them to do at this point is, it's probably going to come back down to, as we mentioned, Nathan Van Camp, James Jackson. Georgia needs to learn how to defend themselves against those two players' offense.
Such heavy hitters, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, because there's power behind it, the deflection of the ball coming right into you, it's a hard thing to try and control. So I think they need to buckle on down with that.
Absolutely. And that's a great point, Riley.
Yeah, just get a good grip on the ball, really.
Well, and you kind of saw that, and it's a great point due to the fact that they had such a hard time defending the MVP of the OCAA on the Mohawk team, Trevor McLaughlin, who plays a lot like a lot of the Fanshawe players. So Georgia's just having to, unfortunately, play some of the heaviest hitters in all the league. It's a good test for the defense. They just haven't fully been able to figure it on out yet. Let's see if they can get it here. It's another good play for Fanshawe. Coyne puts them up 16-4 now. Fanshawe cruising in this one. Looking on the faces of these Georgian players, they don't look too worried though. Van Camp, with all the crowd noise, puts it up and successfully. A nice little touch there, threw off a lot of the Fanshawe defenders, but not the front line guys. Uh-oh, we know who that was. Coming through big time is James. This Fanshawe Falcons team is rolling. Keep talking about what Georgia maybe needs to do, but we got to give some credit to just how amazing this Fanshawe squad is, and especially losing all 3 sets like that they did yesterday at the Durham. So uncharacteristic. First time that happened all season. You knew a very, very motivated effort was going to come out of them. Van Camp laughs off his little error there as to his teammates. That kind of stuff tends to happen. We've talked continuously about how you got the whole gym staring at you, waiting for you to mess up. Fortunately, he does there. Georgian successfully gets a serve over. Foreman's gonna come through and smash it down. And he's grabbing points for them Fanshawe Falcons. 18-5 now. Here in this one. On M-Link. Here in the David Braley Athletic Center. Lethbridge is up there. We're getting the call on. We're getting it on the Fanshawe Falcons. It looks like Liam Gray is going to serve for these Georgian Grizzlies as they finally break that little goose egg, get some points back. Let's see if they can get something going here, Ryla.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of momentum, and hopefully picking up a couple points here will give that to them.
Fanshawe, too, just hasn't made any of those mental errors too often, except for those serves. Another one for James. He's playing like he wants that MVP trophy at the end of this one, win or lose. Both teams are rewarded with an MVP of the game, and a lot of the times it's so hard to pick one. But right now, Mr. James Jackson playing up to his height at that 6'8" frame of his, just smashing it on that. When you're that tall and you can jump the way that he can, you're just able to get such a downward motion on the ball.
Absolutely,
and it kind of
so
shows.
much power.
A lot of power from a big man. That's why we love volleyball. He's just got to get that over. Lethbridge sets it on up. James, a nice block there for Georgia. Great defense. Number 6 for Georgia, making a great play. We haven't mentioned him yet. Jordy Romero from Brampton, Ontario. The first-year man. It's awesome to see those rookies come into the game and make big plays, especially on such a highly touted player like that. And you saw the excitement for him. So if he's got some family watching on here, you definitely like that play and look for your boy to make some more great plays, because that was awesome. Unfortunately there, Fanshawe's going to catch a little break. The struggles continue for Adam Bealey, the veteran. You know he'll turn it around.
As you mentioned earlier, Lucas, that I like to touch base on is that Fanshawe has been so good so far without making as many errors tonight, and that could all come from the game against Mohawk yesterday. You know, Patrick might have sat them down, talked to them about correcting those kind of errors and how to do that, and maybe we're seeing that all be beneficial today.
You would think something like that was said. Uh-oh, here goes James. He just continues to find that middle of the floor. It just seems to be almost unguardable. The coach walking onto the court a little bit there, trying to get some words of encouragement into his team. It's just right now the James Jackson show. He had a great game yesterday, as he does.
I think Georgian, too, needs a little bit more communication on who's actually going after the ball, because we keep seeing this happen, is that they're either tripping on top of each other or nobody's in that area. So I think a lack of communication could be part of the reason that Georgian isn't doing as well as they normally do.
Absolutely. We'll see if this continues, and they almost did that while you're actually talking about it. And there's some Fanshawe communication. That's number 14 making the play for them, Evan Rav from Cambridge, Ontario, the 6'4", second-year man, making a great defensive effort. Fanshawe now 3 points away from getting to that big 25 to secure the second set. Let's see what Lethbridge has. Brings it on over, switching up sides. More so going towards the middle. Oh.
Deflected off of Adam's shoulder there. And I mean, sometimes, you know, your coach says use your head, and you have to do that in a literal sense.
In a physical sense, yeah.
Yep.
You don't always want to do that. James Jackson picking up, I don't even know how many points he has at this point. It's got to be at least half. And Lethbridge, normally so automatic with those serves, but sometimes it can catch up to you if you overlook it. Unfortunately, giving Georgian some points. Let's see if Georgian can get on a little run here, as they now have possession of it. And we have serving Matt Kerr, fourth-year man. Here we go, Van Camp. They see they try to go for that middle that's been open continuously. Gray gets it on over. We're going to get an infraction, and Georgian is getting some points once again. Let's see the streak. We got 2 now. They're going to need a lot more to try and close this up before Fanshawe reaches that 25 mark. It's 2 points away, but don't count anybody out. We've seen stranger things happen. Gets it right on over. A great diving play by Kerr off his own serve. And who's that going to go against? Georgian is going to get the point. The fraction is on Fanshawe.
It looked like Darian Haynes there just got a little bit too close to the net, and I think that's where some of that could have caused from.
Kerr with the serve. 3 unanswered points. Georgia getting a little bit going here. Playing some good D. Nice play by Bealey. Nice play by Romero.
And here's James Jackson, as always, with just that power that puts him just a little too far over the line.
So now here we go. We said we were trying to see if Georgia can get on a little run, and they certainly do, showing that they can get points in numbers. High numbers, that is, consistently. Let's see what else they got here. It's going to be Jackson. Great play by the rookie. Coming in and making a great impact on the Georgian side. And a miscommunication on Fanshawe. We're starting to see a little bit of that Fanshawe miscommunication that we're seeing on that Georgian side of the ball, unfortunately.
Here comes James Jackson for the point for Fanshawe, and with his streak, I wouldn't be surprised if this really pick it up and win the set.
1 point away from doing such. Just gets it on over the net, makes it hard to get some defensive effort, but Georgian, being the team that they are, they get it on over. Romero able to get that going. Lethbridge sets it on up to Van Camp, and that's going to be all she wrote for set numero 2. It is now a Fanshawe 25-11 second set win. As we go on to set number 3, Georgian going to look to battle back in this one.
As I mentioned, Georgian just needs to get in the right headset, and as of right now, after losing 2 sets, the frustration would definitely be there, and that could be, you know, blindsiding them a little bit.
Absolutely. Frustration is certainly kicking in a little bit. Watching some of the players walk by our booth here, they're looking a little bit with their heads down, but they got to pick it up. They're definitely not out of this one. We saw in our last game, in the exciting game between Humber and Redeemer, the fact that Humber went up 2-0 and Redeemer was able to come back 3-0. So if Fanshawe takes their foot off the gas a little bit, we might be treated to another long game. But if Fanshawe can continue to play the way they are, we're going to have this one end a little bit earlier than maybe we all would have liked to. Fanshawe highlight pack coming at you here. We got unfortunately for the Georgia fans, we do have to talk a little bit about how amazing these plays have been. We could all appreciate good volleyball as he just paints the line there. Here we go, throwing a nice setup. Good communication. James, as we talked about, finding the middle of the floor like he does just there. Once again, there's Van Camp flying through, making those big plays, getting some love from the teammates. There you see Georgian with a nice defensive effort, and unfortunately going off the All-Canadian gray. Big play there for James Jackson, who's been all over, as we've mentioned. A great defensive effort, and you watch it there, the miscommunication there as they watch the ball hit. Riley kind of touched upon that Georgian at times has looked like the communication is very much lacked, and unfortunately it's lacking against the wrong team as Fanshaw's like a tiger. They'll be all over you. They smell blood. They're coming for it. I guess that would be a shark, maybe not so much a tiger. So yeah, Fanshawe Falcons playing some real good ball so far. But once again, we're not counting Georgian out. As we saw, the first set was 25-20, so you can just saw they broke down a little bit, maybe took their foot off their gas for a bit. They're going to have to try and find their way back in it.
And as we mentioned, I mean, from the last game, like you've said earlier, you know, we've seen bigger comebacks, and this could just be one of them. It's hard to tell in these kind of games. I mean, the bronze is on the line here. Both teams obviously want it so bad, and it's just a matter of if they're able to demonstrate the kind of teamwork and plays that they need to be making to pick that up.
So we will see here in this third set if we can do so. I'm going to just preview a little bit of what's to come after this one. 5 o'clock, gold medal game. David Braley Athletic Center, the Mohawk Mountaineers, and the Durham Lords will battle for the overall gold medal OCAA championship. Both teams will medal, as the loser will get the silver medal. The winner of this game will get that coveted bronze medal. Definitely not the medal that you come in with the expectations of getting, but Fanshawe showing through their efforts in this one that they need to continue to prove to the rest of the league
One
as
thing
to why they're
sorry,
number
Lucas.
one. Yeah.
One thing I'd like to mention too, as you were talking about, we're seeing Durham tonight. Is last night Durham actually gave a shout out to ourselves and the rest of our classmates on this broadcast, and it's always nice to have that little bit of support, you know. Not only from our school, but from other schools,
Absolutely.
respecting the fact that we're all here for volleyball. We're all here to have a good time.
Absolutely. These streams coming to you by the television broadcasting students here at Mohawk College on M-Link.
Hey, this rotation. Hey, watch, go middle early, Watch middle early. Middle.
Big play there for Fanshawe to start this set off. 1-0 for them. They continue their hot ways. Georgian looking at this third set.
As I mentioned, you know, getting off to a fast start on any single set is so important to any team. Just gets your momentum going right from the hop.
Absolutely. Big defense from McCoy. He couldn't be more fired up about that. Him and Lethbridge combining to block that like the warriors that they are.
Hey, no steps, let's go. Hey, gotta go middle again here,
Fanshawe coaches barking out instructions to their team, trying to figure out what they can do to get this W. Romero falling over his teammate there, the rookie trying to make a big play.
As I was mentioning earlier, you know, the communication is not in Georgian's favor right now. You see each other falling over like that time and time again throughout this game.
Jordy Romero tried to make the play. He's had a very good game for being a rookie in a big-time bronze medal game. Something that the Georgian staff has to be very proud of, that they have rookies performing at such a great way in such a big game. Here comes a coin. Ball's right up. It's going to fall in the Fanshawe favor, and unfortunately for Georgian, they find themselves down a quick score, 4-0. Fanshawe goes to show you that when the foot is taken off the gas for a little bit, they're coming right for you. Foreman's been so good with these serves. I didn't jinx him. He continues to be great. Gray gets it on over. Romero once again. He's going to get those points. We just talked about how he's been having a great game, and he's been playing good for being one of those rookies on this squad, and it's such a veteran group, and he's showing why he's on the floor right now, playing absolutely amazing, and that was a great athletic effort from him, breaking that goose egg.
Georgian's definitely lucky to have him, and will continue to be lucky next year. So, I mean, even if it's over for them after this game, they have so much to look forward to in the future with a strong team for the future. And now we see again Liam Gray. As I mentioned earlier, 5'10", but the power behind this guy is absolutely incredible. There's a reason he's an all-Canadian setter. And it's plays, like tricky plays just like that we saw right off the net that make him so as good as he is.
Some good back and forth action here. Point coming on up. Finally in the middle of the floor, all animated. A point is happy to get that one through. Get some big points for his squad. 5-3 for the Fanshawe Falcons.
David O'Coin's stats aren't as high as, James Jackson's are. But today we're seeing so many great plays from him. For the past couple of days, just being here in general, he's been showing us exactly who he is, what he has to offer, and how many, and what he can do for the team.
David O'Coin, the fifth-year man, showing a lot of veteran leadership. Fanshawe grabbing more points here. There's Lethbridge. Lethbridge is going to serve for us. 6-4 lead for Fanshawe here in the third set. Liam setting up his teammates for the big smash. Great defense put on there from Van Camp. Fanshawe continues their great defensive ways as well. 7-4. Big play there for the Georgian Grizzlies.
Looks like the crowd tonight's pretty evenly divided too. You got lots of people cheering for Georgian and lots of people here cheering for Fanshawe. And
Absolutely.
we mentioned earlier, having that support is so important to these teams.
Fortunately, Maddie Kerr puts that one into the mesh on the serve. Not happy about that.
And here's our big guy, James Jackson. Seeing like he's being the star of the show.
Yeah, take enough off this though to keep it in play. Put that one of the previous ones out of play, and he eventually does. It goes against Fanshawe. That infraction. No, it does not actually. Sorry, the referee is to discuss it. Shaking her head no. 9-5. The Fanshawe Falcons are giving Liam Gray on the Georgian team a little hard time, trying to get in his head as they know he's the All-Canadian.
I think that's a big strategy that a lot of teams I find do is, they find the person that is their biggest opponent and they try and get in their head, they try and work their way through, because after that frustration sets in, you were just not in the mindset to be taking in a win today.
Not a bad idea at all, and neither was that by Van Camp, just a little touch there. But yeah, it's always good to get into the heads of the big players on other teams. You see it in all of sports. The little mind games can be very, very useful. And we're going to have a serve coming here, number 14, Evan Rev. Evan's had a good game so far today. Liam sets it on up. Beauty play there. Set up from the All-Canadian Liam Gray, and an absolutely great putback there for the Georgian Grizzlies. Trying to keep pace here in this third set, 10-7. Gets it on over, a nice little setup here. Lethbridge puts it on up. Foreman's going to be the one that smashes it through, and there's some better defense put on by number 12, Darian Hayes of the Georgian Grizzlies. Starting to show a little bit of life, but it didn't get on over. Fanshawe did get the points for that. It's 11-7 now. Still nice to see those defensive efforts. Such a quick game this one has been. Two very good teams. Liam puts it on up. Smacking that on over is once again Darian Hayes stepping on up in the offensive side of this game.
He is such a big player for Georgian as well. Incredible stats, and he is just extremely helpful.
Once again, Fanshawe finding some quick points. 12-8 now.
Rotation, boys.
Fanshawe may be sensing it a little bit. All their players on their bench begin to stand. Playing really consistently good in this one. Gray puts it on up. James once again just smashes it. Absolutely amazing. We've seen this from him all day.
I'd like to mention with Foreman too. I mean, he's been having some amazing serves, and coming into this weekend, you know, he's been here for 2 years, but he hasn't had high stats as everybody else on his team. But I mean, he's doing an incredible job this weekend. He really showed us what he has.
Oh, and it's going to drop on the Fanshawe side of the net. Some points for Georgian. Keep it pace in this one. 13-9 now. See if Georgian can build a little bit here off the serve by the All-Canadian Liam Gray. James just has to put that over as it's the third hit. Big hit there by Romero. The rookie putting some mustard on that. Well, I don't even need to say anything further on that. I think you all know who made that play. I think we've seen that happen enough times today. James Jackson, if he doesn't get the MVP award, my Pro Line ticket's going to no good. A coin will be the server for those Fanshawe Falcons. And he gets it off into the net, unfortunately. Van Camp, he is able to toe the line, almost, just missing it, as Georgian's going to grab some points. And now we're looking at a 3-point lead. If Georgian can get this set, we might have a whole new ball game. It's going to need to start with some good efforts here. They're saying he got a little bit too close to the net. It's going to be some more Georgian points. Pardon me, no, the referee's changed their mind.
They seem to be doing that quite often tonight, actually, Lucas. They seem to see one thing, analyze it a little bit between the two of them, and then decide actually.
Unfortunately for our one referee, he's not exactly the tallest, and we got a lot of big guys on this Fanshawe team, so it is hard to see. Trying to get on the same page, and like Fanshawe is on the same page, on the very exact same page, especially defensively. What an amazing play there. An overall team effort on that one. 16-11 now.
A little bit of a misplay there from number 7, your very favorite Lucas.
On one, your boys, on one.
Gets it on over. Foreman gets it. James just puts a little nice touch on it. Liam puts it up. Here we go. We got some good rallying. Nice to see this.
Right into the arms
Right until Mr. James
Beasley.
Jackson gets it. Just smashing it home like he's been doing all day.
And now he is up for a serve, so I'm expecting some great things out of this one.
Expect one of the more powerful serves you'll see.
He has a tendency of putting it either right into somebody's arms that they have a hard time deflecting it, or right into the middle of the court where nobody's standing.
Third touch for Fanshawe gets on over. Romero's going to give it a big smack. Let Rich trying to come and sit on my lap again. Once again, like the last game, I had another person almost fall in my lap. I have retired as Santa Claus. I am now just commentating these great OCAA volleyball games. Smashes that right into the net. Unfortunately, a forced error for them.
Hey, gotta go 12 here, Ed. Gotta go 12.
So here we go. Gets it on over with a good serve. Liam's going to set it up for a big smash here. Georgian going to find some points. Only down 4 now here late in this third set of this bronze medal game. Here, Riccola.
This is his 4th year, so I mean, he's definitely helping Georgian pick up some wins.
Unfortunate bounce there for Georgian as now Fanshawe hits that 19 mark.
Unless Georgian can wrap their head around this and pick up some more points, it's looking like Fanshawe might take the win for this one.
Fanshawe might take the little sweep here. It all comes up to Van Camp though. He's got to get this serve off. He puts it high. He puts it out.
Yeah, it just put a little bit too much pepper on that one.
It didn't seem like he had that. He kind of had to adjust his body mid-jump into that, and that's always something you always look for to see if there's going to be a little bit of error, unfortunately. Once again, probably for the 100th time today, James Jackson just smashing it down.
We could probably have a highlight package of James Jackson that went on for an hour, Lucas.
Oh, absolutely. So far in this one, he has been obviously the best player, at least offensively. Fanshawe's had a great overall team effort. Georgia putting it on. Liam sets his teammates up there. A coin gets to smack it down. You know you're going to see a celebration out of him. He loves to make those big plays. And we're going to have to take another look at that one for sure. Here we go. Looking at this here. Coming down, smashing it once again into the middle of that court, finding those gaps. 4 points away now from taking this third set, 3-0.
McQueen's one of those players, too, I want to talk about. I mean, as we see him right there, is that he's another one of those players that wears his heart on his sleeve. You can see the excitement, you know, the hardships, everything on his face as he just flashed the biggest smile after Fanshawe picking up that point.
Absolutely. No, that actually did go out of bounds, Ryla.
Oh.
So the points are going to go to
my mistake.
One of the few mistakes that James has made, especially on those big spikes. It's been so automatic. Fanshawe now 22-16, pardon me. We are 3 points away from seeing Fanshawe capture the coveted bronze medal here in the OCAA championship.
Georgian's faces are looking, you know, they look exhausted, kind of disappointed. Some of them look like they just want this to be over and done with.
What a play there by a coin. He couldn't get it, but the effort there was better than the end result. An absolutely amazing play. We talk about all the digs he has as well as big offensive plays. He's just not scared to put himself on the floor. Goes Jackson once again. Smart enough to let that roll out. The Georgian Grizzlies battling back a little bit here now, 22-18, showing some life, realizing that this could be their last set. Just gets it over the net there. Great play, pop up. Nice defensive effort here. James coming on up. And there's a big play by Matt Kerr for the Georgian Grizzlies, and the life in this team is starting to show. 22-19.
I want to highlight too, Justin Burke there, number 5. He constantly is always in the right spot. I mean, he has 159 digs, so I mean, he's showing us that he's a great player.
And here we go again. They were able to get some defense on this one this time. Nice little set there. We got him coming again though. And once again, he finds it. James Jackson just proven to be all too much for this Georgian defense as they now take a commanding 23-19 lead, ending that little run that we were seeing. And we're going to see if they can somehow come back in this one. It's going to be tough. It's going to start with plays like this. Here goes Gray. Fakes. And look who it is, the rookie Romero. Playing an absolutely outstanding game. Getting a clap from that cheering crowd that they've come along with today in Georgian.
Yep, Georgian shaking their head. You know what? We're not done yet.
Jane's putting it on up, getting a good reaction there from the crowd. He's going to put it up again. Georgian's finally getting some of the defense on his big touches. An amazing diving effort, and they're not going to be able to get it. Georgian battling back now.
Yeah.
23-21. Don't be surprised here if we see maybe a timeout. Fanshaw's going to want to maybe get it together.
As you mentioned, Romero, he's absolutely just every single time, James Jackson was there spiking the ball over the net right into his hands, and he was able to send it right back over.
Absolutely. Gonna need some more big plays on this one. Fanshawe hits it on out. Georgian's right there. 23-22. They found the way to battle back. Fanshawe taking a little bit of a timeout here to try and get it back together. Ryla, if you're the Falcons coach, what do you say?
I mean, if I was the Falcons coach, I would just remind them, how well they've been doing in the first 2 sets. And to try and just tell them, you know what, this isn't over yet. You need 2 more points. Just because Georgian has come of a little bit comeback, that you're still strong enough to take in the win if that's what you wanted out of today.
Absolutely.
I think at the end of the day, it's all about what the players want. And, the most important thing to me is if they're having fun and enjoying themselves. But if they want it bad enough, then they deserve it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to see if they can mount a big comeback here as it is 23-22 here in this one. If Georgian can somehow find the way to battle back in this one, it would be absolutely monumental. As we have a great game underway, which could be pushed to a big 4th set. Georgian gonna have to make those big plays and not have the little errors that they've had, like serving it into the net. This is a big one here from Matt Kerr, and he gets it off. A big play for Fanshawe. James coming through.
Right into my hands, Lucas.
Awesome play, Ryla.
Thank you.
Now Fanshawe is a single point away from winning the bronze medal and wrapping this one all but up. So here we go.
And James Jackson, too, just to finish all off.
This would be a very fitting possible end to this one tonight. Let's see if James can do so. Gets it on over. Georgian's going to have to play some perfect volleyball, and Fanshawe's doing just that themselves. Van Camp puts it on over. You see the hustle being put on display by Georgian. Romero puts it on over, and that, they're going to give it to Georgian.
Yeah, it looks like there's just a little bit of an error there.
24-23.
Oh, and Fanshawe looks like they're calling another timeout just to try and get this last point. They're probably saying, you know what, guys, this isn't the time to be making those mistakes. Obviously, mistakes happen, but this is the time that they need to be trying their absolute hardest.
Absolutely. You could not make any mistakes here at this point in the game, as they're only a point away from losing this one. It's going to have to take mistake-free volleyball, as if Fanshawe is to score the next point, they will win this game, as it is a win-by-2 type system. We will see what they can do here to somehow pull out this victory.
But who knows, maybe Georgian's going to pick it up and we're going to have to go into a 4th set.
We may have to see a 4th set here. I don't think anybody will complain. This has been an amazing game so far. Highly contested. We've seen Georgian kind of let it slip away from them at times, but they've shown right now just the fact that they can battle back and become a team that can compete with these Fanshawe Falcons. This is a big set for Romero. If it hits the net, this is over. Let's see what he's got. Puts it on over. Fanshawe's got it, Van Camp. And that'll do it. The Fanshawe Falcons are going to win the bronze medal in the OCAA championship. That's all she wrote for that one. 3-0 the sets go for the Fanshawe Falcons. What an effort, though, by those Georgian Grizzlies. Let's not count them out for what they did. An absolutely amazing game. So for them, just playing the overall best team possibly in the country. The Fanshawe Falcons are going to win the bronze medal. The presentation is about to happen as they salute the crowd, and the crowd salutes them back for an amazing effort.
One thing I want to mention again, we've said it, all day today, is that just the fact that they've made it this far to be able to come here into this championship and to be playing these games, they're amazing teams.
Absolutely. We're going to have the MVP honors happening here, awarding to the best players. I would bet you James Jackson possibly for Fanshawe, and for Georgian. I don't know. It was an overall great team effort. Maybe they'll give it to the rookie Romero just for his great efforts in such a highly intense game. We will see. They are getting the MVP honors all sorted out. An amazing game. As we have it, the sets went 25-20 for Fanshawe in the first one, 25-21 in the second, and 25-23 in the last one. Here's the player of the game presentations. It goes to Liam Gray. Played an amazing game all around.
Our All-Canadian, yeah, he deserves it. He is such an incredible player, and he seems to be smiling right now. You know, after being defeated, he's still in high spirits.
Absolutely.
And here's James Jackson.
James Jackson, to no surprise, making sure he gets the love in from his teammates.
And a nice little hug from his coach there.
Fanshawe's going to be moving on to nationals as he's congratulated. Of the Redeemer Royals, getting the an honor for the sportsmanship of the tournament.
And here's the bronze medals.
Andre Foreman stepping up to get his bronze medal. An absolutely great game from serving to just playing great overall defense. Good game for him.
The emotion running through these guys is probably so overwhelming.
Not as much court time for him. Still a member of the team. Overall, great season for him. Very contributing member, just not so much as much in this one, as it is hard for some of these rookies to get on the floor in medal games.
The guys are going over and shaking their opponent's hands in a very sportsmanlike.
That's what this tournament's all about. It is about trying to win that championship, but it's also about having fun and showing respect to your teammates.
Absolutely.
James Jackson shakes the hands of his opponents. They have to respect him very much so. As you can see, we got a good shot here. The Fanshawe team showing some love as they're all rewarded with their bronze medals.
A little bit of an injury, but still a huge part of the team.
It's always good for that emotional support.
Absolutely. Everyone counts at this point in time.
Shaking hands with the crutches on. Here's a coin, the emotional coin, getting his award.
The smile on his face is absolutely contagious, Lucas.
Smile is always on his face. He continues to make good plays throughout his season, and he definitely did into this game. Always nice to see. Great game for him. Very proud to accept the award. You can see the good sportsmanship being put on by the Fanshawe Falcons and the Georgian Grizzlies.
Yep, and here's the assistant coach receiving his. And here's Patrick grabbing his. Has a very serious look on his face, but on the inside, he is probably so incredibly happy.
Great respects being put on by these two teams. A little bit of joking on her name wasn't given to the announcer. Unfortunately, there's Allison getting her award for the athletic training.
It's a big congratulations to both teams. That was an absolutely amazing game. But, you know, Fanshawe just had that little bit more oomph to be able to pick it up.
Awesome, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. As you can see, the Fanshawe Falcons were able to win the bronze medal here at the OCAA Championships. I thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lucas Mancini.
I'm Ryla Weir, and we'll see you back for the gold medal game.
We're going to take you out with a little highlight package. Thank you so much for joining us.